This place is falling economically and financially. Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachakwadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth in sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return, and double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And I was reading a news article earlier about how the Dow Jones is in the negatives, and not just the Dow Jones, but the stock markets. Well, that's what I really want to get into, because they said in the news that the stock markets is dangerously close to collapsing. And one thing a lot of these people do not understand is that this is all judgment from the Lord. You see, the 1800s, the early 1800s, the mid 1800s, even the late 1800s, going into the early 1900s, stock markets were flourishing. Everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people, a lot of businessmen, a lot of corporation men, a lot of men who wanted to make big cash always invested their finances in stocks. But as you can see, people are not being as so successful now. Even if it is being done systematically, it tells you that the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. Let me just type it in real quick. Type in kings. See, come on, man, 500. The king's heart is in the hands of the Lord. I'll just go straight to the book of Proverbs. Okay, because king's heart is in the hands of the Lord. So bear with me for one moment. Okay, let me see. Kings is unsearchable. Let's see. Kings. Oh. Okay, well, the scriptures say that the king's heart is in the hands of the Lord. And as the waters turneth, so the Lord doeth. I'm just roughly paraphrasing. So the kings of the earth right now are who? The so-called elites. And the Lord, He's the one that's putting it in their minds to collapse this financial system and this economic system, to crash the stock market. Because ultimately, the so-called elites, they have a goal, a agenda, and that agenda is to bring in the New World Order. Well, the chip is a part of that New World Order. So you can better understand. And they want all your finances to be on that thing. So we're already moving towards virtual or digital currencies such as Bitcoin, Dogecoin, and there's many other, coins that are virtual that you can use to convert into actual cash. But real soon, they're going to do away with cash. Russia's talking about doing away with cash. China's talking about doing away with cash. And now Europe is in the talks of doing away with cash. And why is that? Because really it's the Lord putting it in the minds of these so-called elites to bring in a cashless society. So everyone's finances, everyone's money can be on the chip. So this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 47, verse 1. Come down and sit in the dust. Now, dust represents confusion. In the news, you got one side that says, you have nothing to worry about. The stock markets are doing fine. The banks are doing fine. The economy is bouncing back. Things are starting to get better. Things are starting to look brighter for the future. But then you have another side that is saying, get your stocks out. Stop investing in this and that. Get your money out of the bank before the bank does emergency bailouts and such and such. So this whole place is nothing but confusion. You got one side saying things are getting better economy wise, but then you got another side that's saying, this place is heading down the shithole. It says, "O virgin daughter of Babylon, sit on the ground." Now, who sit on the ground? Peasants do. Now right now, we are the peasants. Why? Because the Lord put us in a state. The Lord removed us from our great estate that we were once in, and He put us on the bottom. For one, because it is prophecy, and for two, because we had transgressed His laws. So the Lord allowed the enemy to prevail against us and to put us on the bottom. But now we're getting ready to enter into a time where the Lord is going to make the rulers of this world into peasants. They're going to go back to being bowers. Which that's what bower means. The word bower means peasant. Like you have Mayan shall bower. And if I'm saying his name correctly, well, the word bower means peasant. So the rulers of this world is getting ready to be peasants. And the Israelites, which are the so-called black, Latino, and Native, the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Indians, the Israelites, we're getting ready to rise up to be kings and priests unto the Heavenly Father and His Son, starting with the elect. Okay, starting with the elect, starting with Yahushua and His elect men. So this kingdom is going to be taken down, and the rulers of this world are going to be peasants. There is no throne. Okay, a throne is a sign or symbol of rulership. So if there is no throne, there is no more rulership for this kingdom. This kingdom had its time, and look where the world is at right now. You got uproars and chaos all over the world. You got people rioting, riots breaking out. There's all kind of chemtrails in the air, all kind of trash in the oceans. There's all kind of harmful metals and toxins in the air, in the water. We're eating GMO foods. You can't even eat clean food. Well, you can eat clean foods, but it's not going to be beneficial to you. Not if you eat it in large quantities, and nothing you eat in large quantities is good for you. So this whole world is trash because of the rulers ruling it. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. This place was called tender and delicate around the early 1800s and mid 1800s, going into the early 1900s. That's when this place was delicate. When people thought that the streets of the city was paved with gold. When the economy of this country was flourishing so much that these different heathens were strongly inspired to come over here to set up business, to profit, to make money, and to head back to their country. People once looked up to this country as the great golden city. This place is no longer being called tender and delicate. When this place was called tender and delicate in the early 1800s, mid 1800s, and early 1900s, you could buy a month's worth of groceries with a $5 bill. Imagine that with a $10 bill back then. You know, if you had $1,000, if you had $100,000 in the early 1800s, you was considered rich. You know, even 500,000. Okay, $500,000, and you would have been set for life. And that was in the 1800s and mid 1800s. Everything was dirt cheap back then. Food was dirt cheap. You know, people used to make so much money from going to work. They would literally work one or two days a week, and then they'll be fine the rest of the week. Literally, or they'll be fine for like a week and a half. Then they go back to work. They work 1 or 2 days, and then they repeat the same process. But look at this country now. Can you honestly say this country is tender and delicate? Can you buy a month's worth of groceries with a $5 bill? I can barely buy 2 bags of family-sized chips with a $5 bill in this day and age. $500,000 is not going to really get you anywhere in this society. Yeah, I mean, it might last you in a wealthy society for like a year or two, but not for a lifetime. Take the millstones and grind the mill, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. America's nakedness is being uncovered. That's why a lot of these countries, they looking at America like this is not the same tender and delicate golden city that it once used to be. You know, nakedness also represents wickedness. The atrocities and all the abominations that happen over here is being uncovered to the whole world. Yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. Because this place will no longer be called, well, when it says no more the Lady of Kingdoms, it literally means thou shalt no more be called the leader of kingdoms. Because many kingdoms follow after the lead of this wicked country. That's why there's a McDonald's in China and Japan. There's skyscrapers all over the world. You know, everybody wants to have concrete jungles. You know, the women are wearing pants. You know, there's all kind of moles and lesbians around the world now. Like, this whole thing is just out of whack. But my supervisor is here. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the video short. The message is out there. This kingdom is finished. With that, I'm gonna say shalom is on to the next one.